Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel and welcome to the month of mistakes. I'm just going to put that out there right now. We are setting up the month of July in my reading journal and yeah, it's not great. I've just found something whilst editing this video back that I have to fix now off camera. We'll talk about it in a very quick moment. But first, if you're new here, hello, my name is Shell and I am all about reading journals. I love sharing my reading journals, even the mistakes. And I took everyone last year in 2024 to 12 different fantasy destinations, and over 2025 I'm doing another year-long theme where we reference down all the things we found on that journey. So each month has a chapter title and a reference point, and for the month of July, and it is definitely chapter 7, not chapter 6, as you're about to see, which is so frustrating to me right now. But yeah, I need to stop thinking about it. But for chapter 7, we are looking at dragons and my hair, because I obviously moved the camera and I need to fix that again. The stand is a little bit off, so you'll see a lot of my hair in this video, unfortunately. But we're on to chapter 7. Theme is dragons. I knew I was going to do dragons from the beginning of setting up this year-long theme, and that is because we went to so many different places where dragons were really important. We went to Basquiat or Basquiat, whatever you want to call it, depending on if you listen to the audiobook or not, or if you want to be correct. That's me being a little petty. We also went to Terracin. We went to Magnificent North. We went to the Kingdom of Kiata, and there is obviously the underwater kingdom in that world. So there were quite a few different places that had some sort of dragon element, and in this theme for the month of July I really wanted to emulate how dragons can be seen as beast and also as like something cutesy and like adorable. So the theme is not as static or as cohesive as other months have been, and whilst I do try to stick to sort of like similar details to carry it through, there are some little changes along the way to sort of represent some of the designs that I wanted for each page. I'll get onto that as we go through, but currently I am using a watercolor palette that I cannot link. I'm so sorry about that, but I really enjoyed using this watercolor palette, even though this color in the pot looks completely different to what it comes out as, and I'm so glad that I swatched it whenever I first got this watercolor palette, because I would have had no idea that this beautiful color would have been under like the most murkiest gray color in a pot. But here we are. So unfortunately I am going to have to fix that header off camera. I think I'll just use some sticker paper and print out a 7, trace it onto the sticker paper and stick it over top and call it good. It's a very minor error, but I mentioned this is the month of mistakes, and there is another one on the next page. Yeah, that's so frustrating to see, but I'll stop thinking about it for now and carry on with narrating this video for you, because I'm sure you don't want to hear me continuously berating myself in my tone of voice. But once this is done, we've got our reference portion set. We've got our title, which is a font I think called 𝓘𝓽𝓮𝓷𝓽𝓮. As usual, I'll have it linked below, as well as all of the stuff that I use. I will have it all in the description. You can find it. I don't actually use links for everything because I don't have in New Zealand an access to Amazon. I don't want to like region gate people. So yeah, I will have the links to, well, the descriptions of everything that I use below, and you can check them out if you're interested. These are a whole bunch of different looking dragons. I wanted to try and show some that were more whimsy, more deadly, obviously lean in towards some of those worlds we went to and some of the mythical styles for different regions, cultures, countries, that kind of thing. So yeah, that was that idea for the entire theme on the first page, sort of the introduction to it, and now we're moving on to the monthly view. And as you can see, I have penciled everything out and I am going to do the watercolors, so keep that in mind for the mistake that you can maybe guess If you've been around long enough, you know where I normally make a mistake. It's happened again. The calendar is not correct. I did enough spaces for 30. Obviously June is over, this is July, but considering I put chapter 6 on the first page, I clearly was still in the mood for 30 days, not 31, so we do have to fix that later. But what I was meaning about that whole trying to show cute dragons versus deadlier looking dragons, on this page here I leant more into the brown colours of my theme. I also used this piece of decorative paper that I found lying in my stash, and I paired it with two little cute photos of dragons. One I used distinctively for Magnificent North last year, so that's why I brought it back this time round. And then we're just going to get the calendar up here. I will have absolutely no idea that I have made another mistake until all the watercolor has been done and I go to fill in the final portions of the calendar. But if you're new here, this calendar I use as mostly a visual guide to see when I start and finish a read. But recently I've started to use this calendar to also indicate when I don't read. So there'll be gaps, but the same color across the calendar until the book is finished. So say I read for 3 days straight, then took a day off, and then maybe read another book the next day and then came back to it the following day, you'll see that that is represented in the calendar. And I've actually really enjoyed doing that, and it has led to finally getting my style set for how I want this calendar to look each month, and I'm really happy with that. I will go into more about how the things that I've been doing in my journal have been representing good or bad things. That doesn't make sense. I will be talking about how I'm enjoying or not enjoying things in my journal in my mid-year wrap-up, which I cannot believe I will be doing very soon. I cannot believe today is the 27th of June when I'm narrating this. This video will go up a little bit later because I've already put up a video today. But yeah, we will have to see in the 6-month wrap up or flip through, sorry, how things are going, how I'm utilizing my journals, what I would like to continue on with for the next 6 months, that kind of thing. But this page is almost done now, and the only things I need to do now is find out that I've made that massive error. But instead of panicking like I am currently about that cover page, I just ended up making it look a little bit ugly. Here I am panicking now. And I just end up putting on an extra box. But first I had to go check that the calendar was correct and find my mistake that it was not. And yeah, I just added it here. It looks a little bit unorthodox, but at least I'll still have the spot to be able to jot down what happens on the 31st of July, and I better read that day because I've put a box there for it and I'm going to be angry if I don't. But otherwise the page is almost done. I did put in, you can't read it right now, but I did put above that little box, oops, because I thought it was funny. And yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, we make mistakes in our journals. When we're setting it up for ourselves, these things happen, and I do feel a little bit of pressure because I'm always filming it, and sometimes I get a little bit up in my head about why can't I do a perfect page, or why can't I make it always look good. I think this happens to all of us though, and I really like the transparency of making mistakes and showing how I fix it. Maybe I should embrace how I was laughing at that mistake and film fixing the cover page and make it a short just to sort of like ease my mind about it. I don't know why the perfectionist in me is really bothered about that number, but I digress. We've now flipped onto another page here, and this is something that I started in June because I was only doing a mini readathon, so I didn't need 2 pages. Normally this is my readathon 2-page spread, but I really liked this page here on the right, which is the quotes page. I've been using it all month so far in June, and I really like it, so I want to continue on with it. So thankfully, the Deck of TBR-a-thon, which is a readathon that I am participating in for the month of July, doesn't really require a lot of page, and I can just sort of jot down maybe on a tip-in if I really need it. What I ended up doing, I actually I actually participated in this readathon last year, but it was set in August. And for those who followed along with how things were last year, August was the month where my mum lost her leg, and it was the readathon that I didn't finish. So I really want to try and finish it this time round, and it being set in July feels a little bit easier. I think if I had it come up in August, I might have gone, oh, I might not do that this year, but I really liked the idea of it. You use a deck of cards to pick out your TBR. So I'm really looking forward to doing that, and I'm hoping to film it so I can share it here as well. But we're almost finished with this page, and I haven't even spoken about the decoration. Like I mentioned on the page beforehand, it was really cutesy. I wanted to use the whimsical colors. This time round, I pulled out my supplies from eBay, which I'm so grateful that they sent me, and I wanted to utilize them again because obviously I've used 2 different packs and 2 different themes over the last 2 months. I wanted to utilize them both this time round. So this time I picked out the dragon tape that was in, I think this one above here is actually from the Phantom Witches pack, and it's got these deep blues and black colors to it. And then I also paired it with some of the paper that I got from eBay as well. I can't remember off the top of my head what that paper pack is called, but it's like really celestial, different colors. I got it in black, but it's got some extra colors in it to sort of even it out and give it like a galaxy tone. And I really liked that. I wanted to go a bit more moodier with this page, still sticking in with the browns as like a really light accent, but overall leaning more towards blue. And then on this page here, I continued on utilizing the differentiating color palette with the blue and the brown, and I found this like ombre paper that I've got from Kmart in my stash, so I decided to stick that on either side of the page. And then I did end up adding a little bit of washi tape from the Magic Wonder set. I do take one piece off because I found a dragon sticker that matched the whimsical paper that I used on the monthly view page, and start that there instead because I just didn't feel like it balanced out correctly. You'll see what I mean in a moment. But this page, if you're new here, is just like a functional page. Just where I jot down my TBR, my prompts for my own TBR vending machine game, the arcs that are most pressing for the month, and a book haul. And I always put 3 dots hoping that it won't go any further than that, but I do leave it a little bit extra of a gap just in case I do get more books than 3. And I decided to put down 3 very different looking dragons. Again, we've got like a Chinese dragon there, and then we've got like a gothic looking picture, and then obviously a dragon with a maiden. So very different pictures down there. And then I also end up, as I said before, grabbing a piece of washi tape that I had previously cut into like this specific circle of the design. It's a really large piece of washi tape. I used it last month, but I didn't utilize this portion of it, I don't think. And it's, again, it kind of was the reason why I went with browns and blues for this month, because it's very heavily those 2 colors in the washi tape. Again, from eBay. I'll have both packs linked below, and if you want to check them out, I do have a discount code that will get you 30% off at checkout if you just use my name, Shao. And I really liked the design of this washi tape, but I didn't want to repeat the pattern twice, so I did end up cutting out the dragon just on its own for the second one. But like I mentioned, I do end up, I don't think on camera, but I do end up taking that off. So here I am sticking it down. It's such a fun, fantastical little picture, and it was giving When the Moon Hatched kind of vibes to me. So I did stick that in, even though that wasn't a place we went to. I think it's really lovely, this washi tape. So here I was fussy cutting it out, but I feel like it didn't work out, so I do end up taking that off. And this page is pretty much now done. I am going to flip over and just cut off the rest of this washi tape, and then we can go on to our final page, which I do go back to using the Phantom Witches washi tape, that blue one with the dragons, for the top of the page. But first we have to put in all the boxes for the reading log. So I do enough spaces for 12 books in my reading log, and over June I've actually read more than 12 books. So I did end up leaving a page, but now I don't think I'm going to really need it, and I probably should have just done a tip in. But I really like the fact that having the space for 12 books is generally enough for me, that I don't need to do any extra pages and think about it too much. I really like this layout. I've done it for the last year and a half now, I think, or at least the last, yeah, it's at least the last year and a half. I think beforehand I sort of dabbled in it at the end of 2023 to see if I liked that style. In 2026 I want to try and change it up. Whilst it's working for me now, I think being a Gemini, I do like to have change, and whilst this works most for me, I'd like to see something different. And there's a few creators that I follow that I really like their style, and I've always wanted to emulate next year's theme. It's going to work well if I try that. So yeah, but for now, this is what the reading log looks like every single month. It has 12 boxes. It has a space for me to stick in the cover when we get to the monthly wrap up. And then it also has a space for all the information about that book. A place to put the title to represent the author, series, pages read, the dates finished. That's what these little blue lines all end up being. Little headers for the information that I will fill in when I'm using the journal over the month of July. And I have been thinking about how I always set these videos up with you guys, and then I never ever come back on here and do like a week in my reading journal. And that is because I admit that recently I have been filling these in very late into the month. So I'm wondering perhaps if I should do like one of those weeks in my reading journal vlogs later in the month, so then I can fill it in. I'm not sure, but I would really like to do more than just setting up my videos, my pages in my journal on video for you all, and share how I actually use it. I think that might be fun. So if you would like that, let me know in the comments below, and I will definitely try and get that done over July so you can see how these pages work, and then hopefully that's something I can continue on with as well. We're now at the final flip through, and I really am grateful for everyone who stopped by to watch this video and listen to me rant and also just talk about the theme. I hope that you've been well, and until we next meet, I hope you have fun reading or journaling, and I will see you hopefully in my next video. Bye everyone.